For math today, we are going to be working with area. And remember, to find the area is found with multiplying length times width. Sorry, my computer is acting really funny with drawing. So I am going to do a problem today that is very similar to the problem you will be doing on your assignment for today. The first part says John's garden is under his front window. The total area of his garden, so total area of his garden is 2 and 8 meters squared. The length of the garden is 4 meters. So we have a garden that the length is 4 meters. The total area inside is 2 and 8/10 meters squared. That we need to find out, though, what the length and what the width is. Width equals something. So in order to do that, we have the area. We have it as 2 and 8/10 meters squared. In order to find what the width is, we have to divide the area by the length. So in order to do that, we take 2 and 8/10 meters squared and divide it by 4. Because I have a decimal here in my dividend, I have to bring that straight up to the quotient. 4 cannot go into 2, so we move into 28. 4 can go into 28. It can go 7 times. So we put 7 up in the quotient. Then our next step is to multiply. 4 times 7 is 28, so we write it below. Now we subtract, and the answer is 0. So the width is 7/10 of a meter. To double check that work, to make sure that we did our work correctly, we have to multiply again the length, which is 4, times the width, which is 7/10. If you're not certain that 7 times 4 is 28, you can do repeated addition over here. Okay, if you think you have it 4 times, okay, 7 plus 7 is 14. Then you have another 7 plus 7, which is also 14. And then we add 4 and 4 is 8, 1 and 1 is 2. So we did the math correctly. So 4 times 7 is 28. And then we have one decimal place, so we move the decimal over 1. The next part says, and this here was John's garden. John's garden. The next is Chase's. Chase's garden is larger than John's. His garden length is 6 and 2/10 of a meter. The width is 1 and 83/100 of a meter. What is the total area? Remember, in order to find the area, we multiply length times width. So in this case, we are going to be multiplying 6 and 2/10 by 1 and 83/100. I'm going to fill a 0 in so that everything is even. Now I'm going to multiply. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. Now I'm done multiplying my ones, so I must bring down a 0 and write that. Now I can start with my tens. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 2 is 16, so don't forget to regroup. 8 times 6 is 48, plus 1 is 49. Now I am finished multiplying here, so I'm going to add 1 0 for this place value, 1 0 for this place value, and now I'm going to multiply. 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 6 is 6. Now I am ready to add. I have 0, and I have 6. 8 and 6 is 14. Write down my 4 and the 1s. I carry my 10, and I have to count that 10. So I have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have to regroup, and I need to count that 10 that I regrouped. 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places, and I put my decimal here. Now, because we're going to 2 decimal places, we're going to round 11 and 346 thousandths to the nearest hundredth. So I look at my 6. 6 here is larger than 5, so it's going to make the 4 increase. So the 4 becomes a 5. We're not changing the 3. It stays the same. Decimal stays. And we have 11. So rounded to the nearest hundredth, the answer 11 and 346 thousandths becomes 11 and 35 hundredths. And that is meters squared because that's the area. The last part is to find out how much larger Chase's garden is than John's. So we are going to take our 11 and 35 hundredths and the area for John's, which was 2 and 8/10 meters squared, and we're going to subtract. Because we are doing subtracting now, we need to make sure that our decimals are lined up properly. And because there was an empty space, I just always add a 0. Now I am ready to subtract. 5 minus 0 is 5. I can't take 8 away from 3. I can take 2 away from 11. I can just take right away here, turn 11 to 10. Now I have 13 minus 8, which is also 5. Bring down my decimal. And now I have 10 minus 2, which is 8. So Chase's garden is 8 and 55 hundredths meters squared larger than John's garden.